Okay, part C, you're going to state the domain and range of the following functions. Make sure they're all labeled. I've just labeled h of x here, so I didn't write that down in the last video. So now we're going to look at the domain and range. So the domain of f of x is going to be x must be greater than or equal to 1. Now we're going to look at g of x. G of x is your linear graph. It is all real numbers, so there are no restrictions. H of x is also x is greater than 1. So this is sort of going with that consistency where you need to always look at these two, and if there is a restriction like there is in f of x, you will see that that restriction also is going to happen in the h of x graph. Okay, let's look at range. So for range, we're going to actually visualize, the graphs again. So the range right here, this is the, now we're assuming that's the max. We can't say for sure. We've also rounded that number off, but it's going to be different than each of these. So we're going to start with f of x though. Y is greater than or equal to 0. And then we're going to look at g of x next. G of x is my linear graph. And now we're going to look at h of x again. So this is going to be y is going to be less than or equal to approximately 1.2 as we plotted that point, where y is the element of all real numbers. So again, h of x, there's not a specific rule for range where these restrictions are just sort of combined and put together like there is for domain. So range, you do have to rely on the shape of your new graph.